You might have to move. Unless you want to tuck yourself perfectly behind me. Just sit there. You can just watch me while I talk to myself.
I'm reading my book.
Little wiggles. I literally haven't done a Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori, or Victoria if you're new here. This is the first sit down video that I've done in a very long time, so bear with me. I'm still kind of getting back in the hang of just sitting down and talking to a camera. But I'm super excited because I honestly prefer these videos. I've been doing a lot of travel vlogs lately, which I hope you're enjoying, but I also apologize for because it's been like one after another because this summer so far has been pretty hectic. But anyway, I'm super excited to be filming this one and talk about skincare, one of my favorite subjects. Traveling has been really hard on my skin, and it's also hard to kind of maintain your same regimen and routine that you have at home while you're traveling, so I thought I would make a video with some tips, tricks, and just sharing my products that I'm using and just things that make skincare while traveling a little bit easier. Apologies if I sweat and turn red throughout this video. So maintaining a skincare routine while traveling can be difficult for many reasons. One being that when you're flying on airplanes, there's obviously a lot of restrictions to the size of your cosmetic products. And then traveling itself can just be really draining and drying and exhausting for skin. So I thought I would share with you guys what products I use while I'm traveling and just some little tips and tricks for maintaining a good skincare routine while traveling. So first things first, if you are at home and you have all of the products that you love and they're not the right size, I highly recommend getting little travel size containers and then putting the product into those containers so that you can bring those products with you while you're traveling. While I was in the Netherlands, I was using the acne.org regimen, which is probably my favorite skincare regimen. Definitely my favorite skincare regimen, and I have a ton of videos on it, so if you're interested in seeing those, I will link them somewhere on the screen. And so I wanted to bring those products with me while I was traveling for the summer, but they were all over the size limit for traveling for a carry-on bag because I don't ever check one in because I'm broke and I don't want to pay for it. So I got some of these little containers that are travel size. These ones I think are 100 milliliters or 80 milliliters. They were like 50 cents each. I got them at a local drugstore and they're awesome. And that way you can carry your shampoo, your conditioner, your face wash, all of your favorite products with you while traveling. So moving along into my skincare regimen while traveling, first things first is a cleanser. Now, as I said earlier, I was using the acne.org regimen, which I absolutely love, and I miss the cleanser, but since I only had this size of it and I've been traveling for like a very long time now, months, I ran out, and so I had to get a new one. My sister got this at the pharmacy because I think how it went down, you just asked what was cruelty-free, right?
Yeah, I'd asked.
She asked what was cruelty-free and the lady guided her to this one, and it's decent. It cleans our skin, it's fine, but it's a little bit drying. I've noticed that my skin kind of has that tight, squeaky clean feeling after using it, and this is obviously not travel size. I'll have to buy another little one of these before taking off again, and you can bring the rest home with you if you even want it. And the other problem with this is it doesn't mix with our benzoyl peroxide from the acne.org regimen. If you use this and you use this, your skin turns bright red and it burns and it's awful. So insert picture. And it happened to both of me and my sister, so kind of just been having to use the cleanser for a while and not been able to use the benzoyl peroxide. And instead of benzoyl peroxide, because I think some kind of spot treatment, if you're someone with problematic skin, is another important thing to bring with you while traveling because you want nice skin while traveling. So benzoyl peroxide was my spot treatment, but now that this doesn't allow me to use this, I've been using my Salt Rock. Which I talked about in my video on natural skincare, so if you haven't seen that, I will link it somewhere. And this doesn't have any kind of weird reaction with the cleanser, and it's a little bit more gentle, obviously, than benzoyl peroxide. Maybe not quite as effective, but it still does the job. And this is also the deodorant I use, so it's like a 2-in-1. It's great for traveling. Anyway, I'm doing affirmations because I'm very frustrated.
Your soul is glowing through your skin and your eyes.
So moving along to the next step in my regimen, which is a moisturizer. And while you're traveling, moisturizer is super important because planes and trains and buses and just not sleeping well or not eating well can be really drying for your skin. And so having good moisturizer is super important. My favorite one is the acne.org one, and this is not sponsored. It probably totally sounds like it is, but I just really love the regimen. But anyway, I really like this one because it's alcohol free and it's really soothing. It has licorice root, and it's almost empty. My sister has been using it now for the past few days, and that might have to stop.
Or
I'm not gonna have it in like 2 weeks, and I'm gonna be really sad, and you're gonna get to go home and you have a bunch at home.
My skin's dying.
So both of us love this moisturizer, and so now we've been having to share it. And I'm traveling for a lot longer than she is, so as soon as I run out, that is the end for me.
Have you seen the other one?
Oh, you probably finished it.
No.
Okay, let me just. My biggest problem with the acne.org regimen is that they don't ship to Spain, which is kind of ridiculous considering that they ship to just about every country. But I noticed as I was traveling, oh, I think I already talked about this when I talked about cleanser.
I heard you talk about this.
I talked about this. Because I can't get a new one of this, I'm really trying to conserve it. And so, yeah, I'm gonna have to stop my sister from using it. I'm sorry, Nelly. So yes, good moisturizer is super important. Find what works for your skin. This is what I found works for mine. But it does not have SPF. So always make sure to pair it with some SPF. If it is summer, I recommend using at least SPF 30 or higher. This is SPF 50, and this is also a travel size sunblock that I tried actually while I was here. When I finished my old sunblock, I had to get a new one, and they didn't sell the same brand that I was using in the US in Europe. So this is Le Poche. Definitely pronouncing that wrong. And again, I went to a pharmacy and I asked what was cruelty-free. They guided me to this one, but it's really hard because nowhere on the bottles does it say that these products are cruelty-free. So when I looked it up, I found that both this brand and this one do not test on animals unless it's legally required, which I don't really know what that means. And everyone that I've talked to about animal testing in Europe says that it's actually illegal here. So I'm not really sure. But anyway, I really like this sunscreen. I get the tinted one because I noticed that if I use a white one and it's SPF 50, which is pretty high, I have like a white sort of shell over my face, and so a little tint just helps it go on a little bit nicer. Definitely does not have coverage. It can't replace like a BB cream or foundation, but it's still nice to just avoid the little white glow that you get from sunscreen. So moving along into the next step of my regimen, and that is something to exfoliate with. Now this is a brand that I tried while here because I ran out of my other one from home, and it's okay. It's the Louis Widmer or whatever. It's a Swiss brand, and it's glycolic acid, but it also has like the little physical beads for exfoliating, so it's sort of like a chemical exfoliant and a physical one. Don't think it's as strong as the I don't think it's as strong as the glycolic acid exfoliator that I was using at home was, but it does the job. It's just kind of helps smooth things out. I use it every like 2 to 3 days or so. But anything with glycolic acid can be really good for if you have any discoloration or acne scars, which I definitely have a little bit of. So yeah, using this every couple of days is really nice because it just sort of smoothens things out. Smooths. I still can't even say that. Sort of smooths things out, both in terms of like color and tone, and like texture. So yeah, I will try to link these products down below. Again, none of this is sponsored, but some of these brands are actually a little bit obscure, so I don't even know if I'll be able to find them, but yeah, check down there. So moving along to the next step in my regimen, which is an eye cream. And this is actually something that I did not do at home, but I picked up while traveling, because I noticed that my eye area was getting pretty dry with all of my trips and being all over the place. And so I got this for sale at a little health store, and I actually love it. I just use it at night because it's not really for like eye bags or anything. It's more just for like deeply moisturizing your eye area, but it's great. And I actually do think it helps a little bit with bags. But yeah, I just use a little bit of this at night. And if I do use it during the day, I am sure to use some SPF over it because it's basically all oils. Moving on to the second to last thing, a good moisturizer for your lips. This is just a basic Trader Joe's lip balm with SPF 15, and always having chapstick in your purse is super nice because my lips are like always dry, and so if I have that there accessible, it's nice to just rub a little bit of it on. And finally, because I already talked about this, I think, This is what I use for deodorant and as a spot treatment if I'm not using the benzoyl peroxide, but I talked about that earlier, so I won't talk about it more. And this is a Salt Rock. But finally, more into body skincare is something to exfoliate your body with. For a while, I was traveling with my body brush that has like bristles and everything, and it was just kind of getting a little ridiculous. I think I left it behind in Greece because it was about that tall, and so it would just always be kind of sticking out of my backpack whenever I would be running around the airport or whatever. So I found a smaller little sponge, konjac sponge, something like that. Not as effective as the body brush, but it still does the job. And I just like using this for my body to just kind of get rid of those little bumps and just smoothen things out a little bit. So I think that is everything. I hope that is everything. That is everything. I hope that you found this video useful. Once again, if you are interested, I will link the products that I can find down below. And yeah, I only have a few days left in one location, so I'm gonna try to make some more videos for summer of self-care.
Traveling is self-care. Whether it's a day trip to a cool place in town or it's across the sea.
Right.
Traveling.
But being mindful while traveling is
Yes.
important.
Oh yeah.
So next, I should probably make a video on self-care trips while traveling.
Yeah.
I know I promised more videos in the self-care summer series, but it's been really hard to film since I've been all over the place. So I will try to be better about that in the next few days that I'm in one location. But in the meantime, I hope you're enjoying my travel vlogs, and yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful summer or winter, depending on where you are, and I will see you soon. My voice cracked. And I will see you soon.